So, you want to buy a guitar. Maybe it's for yourself, maybe it's for somebody you know, somebody in your family. Well, congratulations, it's going to change your life forever. But before you go out and buy that guitar, there are a few things it's worth considering. Let's take a look. Hello and welcome to the exciting world of being a guitar player. My name's Paul and I've been playing guitar for over 40 years, so I've got a fair bit of experience, and hopefully the knowledge that I've gained along the way will help to make your decision about buying your first guitar that much easier. First and foremost, don't rush into it, okay? Don't think I've decided to buy a guitar for myself or for somebody else, I have to do it immediately and pick up the first thing you see. Avoid Facebook Marketplace in the first instance. Avoid people who say, well, we've got a guitar and, in the back of the cupboard in our house, you can have that. Slow down. It's really important that you get the right musical instrument in your hands, because if you buy something that's not suited to you or that doesn't work for you, you'll pick it up, play it once, put it down, never play it again. And that would be a real shame, wouldn't it? Let's take a look at a few different styles of guitars and we'll talk about whether or not they might be right for you. These days there are so many different styles of guitar and brands of guitar that it can be quite hard to know where to look for your first one. You can't just assume that because you see your favourite guitar player playing a Fender Stratocaster or a Gibson Les Paul, that's going to be the guitar for you. It might look cool, and looking cool is pretty important if you're playing guitar, right? But will it be right for you? As I say, there are so many decisions to make, but let's keep it simple for this video. Let's not get too complicated. Let's stick to the basics. And for me, the basics are Telecaster style guitars, Stratocaster style guitars, and Les Paul style guitars. And I say style guitars because you would assume historically that Stratocasters and Telecasters would be made by Fender and Les Pauls would be made by Gibson. These days, there are countless different brands that have those styles of guitars and there's nothing wrong with them. Don't think you've got to buy an expensive brand name for your first guitar, because you don't. First things first, this is a Telecaster style guitar. There you go. I shall hold that up to the camera and try and not get too many reflections on there for you. Telecaster style guitars look a little bit like that. Stratocaster style guitars will look a little bit like this. Too many reflections, didn't think this through, did I? There we go. That's a Stratocaster style guitar. And this is a Les Paul style guitar. Again, very different. Nice and shiny, that one, isn't it? Look at that, that's great. So since I've got hold of this one first, let's take a look at this one. The Les Paul style guitar has a lovely, curvy, voluptuous shape to it. They look great, don't they? Look at that. Not just the kind of overall shape of the guitar itself from an outline point of view, but the top of the guitar as well. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera there or not, but they're not flat. They're kind of curvy and raised. They've got a lovely shape to them. They're quite a tactile kind of instrument. From a practicality point of view, they can be a little bit heavy, possibly heavier than a Stratocaster or a Telecaster style guitar. A good one of these is probably going to weigh about 8.5 to 9 pounds. So if you're playing one with a strap, just bear that in mind. It can get a bit tiring after a while. All the controls fall to hand when you're playing them. They're lovely and comfortable. I'm not going to get into the details about what all the different controls do. We can cover that off sometime later. This is just more about finding the right guitar for you. We've got a toggle switch there to control your pickups, which will amplify your sound. And then a set of controls down here, which will adjust the tone or the volume of your pickups. Headstock up the top there. The headstock is the bit of the guitar where the strings and the tuners all fasten on. And as you can see, you've got 3 tuning pegs to a side there because there are 6 strings on the guitar. Lovely and comfortable. And there's no doubt about a Les Paul certainly looking cool, is there? Next up, we've got a Stratocaster style guitar. These are a much different shape to the Les Paul, aren't they? They're not as possibly not as curvy and voluptuous in their outline shape, but can you see that? They're a little bit thinner than a Les Paul, and there's a shape on the back there, so that depending on the shape of your body, obviously, you can get the guitar nice and close to you and make it nice and comfortable. I always find Stratocasters to be really, really comfortable guitars to play. I think they're probably my favourite guitar shape, personally speaking. But again, that's it, isn't it? It's all about personal choice. It's about finding the style of guitar that fits you. I like Strats, you might not. One big thing to consider on Stratocaster style guitars, and again, it doesn't apply to all of them, but quite a lot of them, is this. This is the bridge with the saddles, and this is also got what's called a tremolo system. Now that works by being, this part of the guitar is not fixed to the body. It's effectively floating on springs, which are inside this cavity in the back. We'll take a look at all these things in another video. Don't worry. What it essentially means is if you're buying a guitar with a tremolo system, you'll get one of these, which is a tremolo arm, which fits into there. It just pushes straight in on this one with no messing, and it enables you to play chords or notes and do this and get those lovely surf kind of sounds with it, which again is fantastic. But bear in mind, these systems can often send the guitar out of tune. So when your guitar's nicely tuned when you're learning to play, doing this kind of thing, especially if you're a bit over enthusiastic, will send the guitar out of tune. So bear that in mind. It's possibly worth thinking of buying something that's got more what's called a fixed bridge, and you can buy Stratocaster type guitars with a fixed bridge as well, which doesn't have this system on it. Maybe worth bearing that in mind if you're concerned about keeping the guitar in tune. The third kind of guitar we're going to look at here today is a Telecaster style, and I think if I was personally advising somebody about their first guitar, I would say take a look at a Telecaster and see what you think, because I think they're the ultimate kind of shit kicker guitar, you know. They're a bit of a well-kept secret as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people overlook them because they're quite a straightforward guitar, quite a basic guitar, and that's where their magic lies for me. On most Telecaster style guitars, you get two pickups. You get one here and you get one here. Again, don't worry about pickups in particular. We'll cover that in a separate video. But you sometimes get them with three. Sometimes you can even get them with just one. But for our purposes, let's assume we're getting two. Simple controls are the three-way switch there, one volume control, one tone control, and that's it. That's all you've got to worry about. Unlike the Stratocaster, on this guitar, you've got the fixed bridge where it's actually secured to the body. So there's no waggly arm there to send the guitar out of tune when you're playing it. Telecasters just feel so good, and they're a really, really versatile guitar. You could do a lot worse than pick a Telecaster up. Well, it's all well and good, isn't it, talking about these guitars and saying which one will be the right one for you, and which one would you choose? Which style will suit you better? And that's the thing. You really have to physically touch and play your first guitar rather than just buying it sight unseen. I appreciate that these days, you know, most of us do our shopping online, and I've bought plenty of guitars online, but I've got a little bit of experience, and I know that if something turns up and I'm not happy with it, I can fix it, I can adjust it myself. And that's worth bearing in mind, you know. With a guitar, there's very little you can do to really hurt it, to really break it, short of picking it up and smashing it on the floor. And even then you can repair them, you know. If you drop it, don't sweat it. I would always say this: if you're getting a first guitar for somebody, for yourself, whatever it may be, avoid places like Facebook Marketplace, because people there are quite often just out to make a fast buck and they don't really care about you. I would say, in your first instance, find out where your local guitar shop is. Go and pay them a visit, okay? Don't rush into things. They'll welcome you at a local guitar shop. The bigger places, the box shifters, they're all well and good, but they don't really care, you know? Find your local guitar shop, make them your friend. Tell them that you're buying a first guitar. Let them give you some advice, because they will want your money, they'll want your support, they'll want you to come back. They will want to help you. They'll be very friendly, they'll be knowledgeable as well. And it's more than likely that they'll have different varieties of at least these three guitars that we've talked about, and they'll let you pick them up. You'll get that tangible feel for what works for you, because something might look fantastic. You might like the look of a Telecaster and think that's the one for me, but then again you might play it and think, God, that feels awful when I've got it in my hands. It just doesn't feel right. Your guitar becomes part of you over time. It's going to be your friend, and it's going to be your friend for a long time. You've got to enjoy its company. You've got to like the way it feels in your hand, you know. Go and try out as many as you can. Even if you can't play a single note, sit down with them. Put them on your lap, hold them, get a feel for where all the controls are, what they feel like under your fingers, what the neck feels like, you know. Has it got a nice thin neck? Has it got a big fat neck? Different strokes to different folks. Get that experience, even if you can't play it. Put a strap on. Put it around your neck. How does it feel when you hold it around your neck? Is it lopsided? Does it kind of dive down a little bit? Is it too much for your poor old bad back after all these years, if you're my age? Try them out. It's all about that tangible experience. Aside from the physical, tangible and comfort aspects of buying your first guitar in person from the shop somewhere, another reason to do that is that you'll be able to ask the salesperson there or the shop to make any adjustments to the guitar that you might want to make. And you probably will, because when you buy a guitar out of a box, it's just been made in a factory somewhere, like anything else, and it gets put together to a certain standard and shipped across from Japan, China, America, Indonesia, wherever it may be. So when it reaches you, things will have changed. You know, humidity and temperature affects guitars, so things expand and contract, because these things are just made out of wood and metal, aren't they? So when it's set up correctly in a factory in China, by the time it's spent 6 months in a container and come over to the UK where I am, the temperatures are different, things will be different. So always, when you're happy that you've got the guitar that feels good to you, ask the people in the shop if they'll give you some advice about what's called a setup for the guitar. Now, a setup involves all the kind of small, fine adjustments to the guitar that make it more playable, will help to keep it in tune better and just make your experience better. Sometimes a guitar shop will do you a setup for free as part of your purchasing experience with guitar, especially if you say it's the first guitar you're buying. They'll do you a basic setup, which means they'll make sure that the height of the strings on the fretboard is correct and not too high or too low, because if it's too high it becomes unplayable because you've got to push those strings down with your fingers, yeah? And if it's too low, all the strings will buzz and vibrate against the fretboard of the guitar. So those things can be taken care of for you. These things can all be adjusted. The tuning of the guitar isn't just controlled by the tuning knobs on your headstock. It's controlled by all these little saddles and things down here as well that can be adjusted. So your guitar shop will do those things for you. They may charge you for the privilege, okay? And it might cost you, you know, £50, £60 or so to do that on top of the price of your guitar. Seems like a lot of money, but trust me, it's worth doing it, because that first experience of playing your guitar counts for everything. If you pick your guitar up and it's not comfortable and you don't enjoy it, you'll put it down and you'll never touch it again, and you'll think, this is rubbish, it's not for me. But if the guitar is comfortable for you physically and it's set up right, it makes a world of difference. It really does. So consider it. It's not essential. A lot of guitars will come out of the box and you'll think, that's perfectly good enough, that's serviceable. But if you haven't got that knowledge, you know, take a friend if you can, or someone who's got a bit of experience who can say, yeah, that feels okay, or this might need to be adjusted, or that might not be right, because two guitars can come out of the box with consecutive serial numbers. One can be fantastic, one can be absolute shite. It's just the way it goes, you know. Bear that in mind. Don't spend a fortune on your first guitar. Whatever you spend, it's always going to be a lot of money. But I would advise, you know, here in the UK, round about £150 to £200 is more than enough money to spend on your first guitar. This guitar I bought this at the start of this year because I bought it because I like the colour, okay? That's the only reason I bought it. It's a lovely sparkly colour. This is probably about sort of a £400 or so guitar, and this is 30 years old. But currently, my favourite guitar to play, and the guitar that I play at just about every gig these days, is this. And this was £159. I bought this online, not in person, but I knew the place I was buying it from, and I told them what I wanted them to do with it before I got it, and they did it. So £169 buys you a fantastic guitar these days. And this is the sort of thing that 20, 30 years back, a guitar of this quality would have cost you 500 UK pounds, no problem, okay? So don't think you're getting shortchanged. We're all consumers and we're all gullible. And we will all want to buy expensive, shiny things because they've got a particular brand name on them. So, you know, Fender, Gibson, to name but two. And they are fantastic guitars. Don't let me kid you otherwise. But you don't necessarily need that name. You don't necessarily need to pay for all their branding and their marketing and their fancy factories. Be careful, okay? Do your research. There are so many mid or low priced brands out there. This is a Jet guitar, okay? And I've done a few other videos on Jet guitars if you look back through my channel. They're great guitars. I'm not sponsored by them. No one's paying me any money. It's just that my experience of 40 odd years has told me these are good guitars. They play well, they sound well. And I've advised other people to buy these as their first guitars. And I've even sold a couple of mine to other people as their first guitars. And they've all been perfectly happy with them. They're good. Ultimately, it's down to you. Get some good advice. Take your time. Don't rush into it. Look at plenty of YouTube videos, not just mine. Speak to people in the shop. But most of all, enjoy it. Get the most from it because it will change your life. If you start to play guitar, it will be your friend forever. But there'll also be days when you look at it and think, oh, God, I hate you. I just want to put you down and never play you again because you'll never learn it all. You'll never beat it. But it's one of the most fantastic things you will do in your life with your clothes on. Unless, of course, you want to take your clothes off and play guitar as well. That's your business. Thanks for watching. There will be some more videos coming at some point soon where we talk about bits and pieces of the guitar, how to set a guitar up differently yourself, what all the various controls and things do. So stay tuned, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Don't let the bastards grind you down.